Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with Dave's Faves. And since we're coming to the end of Dave's Faves, I need to do a little house cleaning and wrap up a few things that I didn't talk about. One of them was Beethoven's Fourth Symphony. I don't know why I left it out. It's one of my favorite of the Beethoven symphonies. I like it a lot better, for example, than the Eroica, as I've pointed out, because it's a much better symphony, in my view. And the comparison, I think, is salutary. You know, the Eroica, it gets a lot of its cachet because it's obviously a symphony of revolutionary character and musically great struggle. And that can be an aesthetic plus. It really can. You know, Beethoven's music, when it's struggly, is the stuff that gets a lot of the attention. But it hasn't quite mastered the Eroica. The power of movement, of athletic movement. It has dead spots. It has dead spots in the first movement. It has dead spots in the funeral march. It has quite a few in the finale. Some of you will disagree, of course. And they're not the kind of things that a great performance can't basically disguise or turn into a positive quality. I'm not saying that it's bad in any sense. I'm just saying that when you hear it compared to the Fourth Symphony, Beethoven has mastered his sense of movement. He's gotten his proportions correct. He knows how to start and finish and where the music's going at every single point along the way. And for me, in that sense, it's certainly an advance over the Eroica. And I know, these comparisons are invidious, and I'm not trying to diss one, at the expense of the other, but you can hear Beethoven's growth as an artist, particularly in the Fourth Symphony. It has a smaller orchestra than the Eroica, but it sounds bigger. The tutti are fuller. The climaxes have a richer, more saturated orchestral quality. The balance of timbres, even with a smaller orchestra, with a single flute, I think are more true, more colorful, more powerful, and more to the point. The music always moves. Even the slow movement, which is really the same form as the funeral march of the Eroica. I mean, the funeral march in the Eroica is essentially a rondo. Right? It's a march with an episode, then the march comes back, then there's another episode, then the march comes back. Well, the slow movement of the Fourth Symphony is the same form. I mean, it's not a funeral march, obviously, but it's one of those A, B, A, C, A rondo forms. But oh my, how it just flows. It flows beautifully. That main theme, ya da da da, and the way Beethoven uses rhythm to propel it, dum ba-dum, 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 all the way through it. It's really an amazing example of a large form in a slow tempo, but one that surges. And that's the way the whole symphony goes. It's just phenomenal that way. And I love it. I love it to death. And there are many, many fine performances of it. It always gets second shrift because it's sandwiched between the third and the fifth. But believe me, the tension and struggle that we hear in the fifth as compared to the Eroica would not have been possible had Beethoven not mastered that sense of physical movement that we hear throughout the Fourth Symphony. And so, my favorite performance, this is a recent Dave's Fave because I just had ignored this performance for like my whole life. But my good friend Christophe Huss, the music critic at Le Devoir in Montreal, said, listen to the Jochum Beethoven Fourth on Deutsche Grammophon with the Berlin Philharmonic, his first Beethoven cycle. It's amazing. And it is. Holy cow. It has that fabulous combination that I'm talking about of propulsion, of movement, but also that intense lyricism, because the Fourth is also, it's an extremely lyrical symphony. It has beautiful melodies that float over the bar lines. It's just first movement, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. And this performance has that sense of power and songfulness, that amazing combination, which is really sort of uniquely Beethoven. It really is, and which he finds and balances for the first time in the Fourth Symphony. So it's on Deutsche Grammophon, and it's probably impossible to get separately. And it like was in a box, and I don't know where you're going to find it. Maybe it's on, you can stream it if you don't have the box, or it's, of course, in the big Jochum boxes that are probably out of print. But Beethoven's Fourth with Jochum and the Berlin Philharmonic. Thank you, Christoph. That is one amazing performance of one of Beethoven's most important and least recognized as such symphonies. And that completes the Beethoven cycle, I think, on Dave's Faves. Yay! We're getting to the end. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.